Skill 2 and good evening everyone. Sorry for the technical glitch today. Welcome to MSBS Weekly Guided Meditation by Phra Goh. Today is the 8th of November 2022. We are very grateful to have with us Bhante Adhibalo, popularly known as Phra Goh. Bhante was born on July 14, 1985 and was ordained under the Thai tradition of Thai Dhamma sect at Satipatthana Johor in 2008. Bhante is currently the religious advisor to Buddhist Youth Network Singapore. This week we are continuing on we are starting a new subject on the outside the wall sutta. Now let's see what is outside the wall. Now let's compose our minds for our palms together and welcome Bhante. Over to you, Bhante.
Okay, thank you, Terence. So we can start off 3 bows to the Buddha. First bow, second bow, and third bow. Okay, do the opening chant, homage. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. 3 refuges. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. 5 precepts. Pāṇātipada viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinādāna viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccacara viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvāda viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Suramiraya majjapamadatthana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so good evening, and tonight will be the second lesson. So actually tonight is this will be the last topic for this year. This will be the last topic for this year, and next week will be the last lesson. So I'll try to cover as much as possible. This is the Tirokuḍḍha Kanda, called English called Outside the Walls, as what Terence mentioned earlier. This topic requested by Susan, talking about ghosts. So this is the Buddhist way of dealing with ghosts. So how should Buddhists dedicate merits? So the Theravada tradition, be it Sri Lankan, Burmese or Thai tradition, they'll use this. There are other suttas, especially in the Petavatu, which talks about other kinds of ghost stories and how to help the hungry ghosts. but somehow in the Thai tradition, they sort of like omit most of the other ghost stories, and I think it's just left with this one. This is like the probably the acceptable or standard kind of story. So without further ado, we can carry on with the story. Okay, so it starts off with the backdrop. So the story goes like this. While the teacher, that means our current Buddha, was living in Rajagaha, he told this story. So 92 kalpas, that means a long, long time ago. That means 92 eons, 92 universe cycles ago. There was a city called Kasi. In that place, King Jayasena was reigning. His queen was called Sirimat. Their son Pusa, so that's the 18th Buddha after Dipankara. So it's called the Pusa Buddha, attained supreme enlightenment. So our Buddha we call Sakyamuni Buddha. So this one is called Pusa Buddha. So I do not know what's the Chinese direct translation for Pusa. Now King Jayasena displayed pride, thinking, since my son, who is born as a Buddha, has made a great renunciation, I alone have the Buddha, I alone have the Dhamma, I alone have the Sangha, the order. All the time he was alone in attendance upon him, Pusa the Buddha, and gave no opportunity to others. So the king wanted to have control over who can look after the Buddha, which is his son. So he decided, okay, he's the only one who can serve the Buddha. Okay, so the next slide will give a rough idea. This is just a reference, side reference, on the different kinds of Buddhas. So in Theravada Buddhism, they mention until 28 Buddhas, and 28 Buddhas. So if you look right at the bottom, number 28 is this Gautama Buddha, which is our current Buddha. Our current Buddha. So earlier on they mentioned about this Pusa Buddha. So Pusa Buddha is number 21. Number 21. Number 21. Can you see Pusa Buddha? 21, yeah. So earlier on they mentioned another name called Dipankara Buddha. So Dipankara Buddha is number 4. Yeah, Dipankara Buddha is number 4. So they mentioned 18 Buddhas after Dipankara Buddha is this Pusa Buddha. So why is Dipankara mentioned? Because Dipankara is the Buddha which our historical Buddha met before. So before our Gautama Buddha got enlightened, he met Dipankara Buddha before. So that's why he mentioned. So that time, our Gautama Buddha was known as ascetic Sumedha. Yeah, that was many lifetimes ago. He's called ascetic Sumedha. And this ascetic Sumedha met Dipankara Buddha. And this Dipankara Buddha predicted that this ascetic Sumedha will become a future Buddha. Right, so this is the 4th Buddha out of the number 28. So there are a few more being mentioned. So like Tanhankara Buddha, Medankara Buddha, and this Saranankara Buddha, which our historical Buddha hasn't met before. Yeah, so this is the past Buddhas, just chart. And interestingly, like in the story, if you look at the Pusa Buddha, the parents are being mentioned here in the chart. Jayasena, the father, Sirima, the mother. And he also mentioned how long they need to practice to reach enlightenment. Right? So this Pusa Buddha practiced asceticism for 6 months before he got enlightened. Compared with our historical Buddha, 6 years. Yeah, number 28, you look, 6 years. You need to practice asceticism for 6 years. And the fastest, you can look at like number 12 and number 13, 7 days, 7 days. And also number 18, this Dhammadasi Buddha, 7 days, then they reach enlightenment. So I'm not sure which of the Buddha. There was one story where our historical Buddha in one of the previous lifetimes, when he met one of the Buddhas who got enlightened very quickly, then he made a remark and he mentioned, how can he be so fast one? How is it possible to be so fast? If it's so easy to reach enlightenment, I can do better. No, that means he's trying to say that he can practice asceticism longer than all these people. Now, how can be so fast? Right? So because of this remark, then that's why the karma sort of ripen. Then he need to practice 6 years. So the rest of the Buddhas, take months, you never see years, right? So he's the only one with 6 years. So the moral of the story is don't be too quick to criticize or comment. Yeah, so hear the other side of the story first. You check how they reach enlightenment, ask questions, and before you give negative remark. Yeah, so that's the moral of the story. But anyway, I sidetracked. So this is just a rough chart. So we move on to the next chart. Okay, so to know how long ago is this previous Buddhas? So the Buddhas before Vipassi, so from Vipassi to Gautama Buddha, so that's the past 7 Buddhas. So the Pusa Buddha is actually right before Vipassi Buddha, which we do not know how long ago. So based on the main Nikayas like Digha Nikaya 14, it is mentioned the previous existences of the previous Buddhas, how long ago are they. So like Vipassi Buddha is already 91 eons ago. 91 eons ago. So in the now the sutta, the Pusa Buddha was 92 eons ago. Yeah, 92 eons ago. So that is how long they are. So not every universe has a Buddha. So like you look at the number 4 to number 7, Kakusanda to Gautama Buddha. Our eon, our world cycle already has 4 Buddhas. So our eon is considered a very fortunate eon. Very fortunate eon. There's 4 Buddhas appearing. The Buddha before Kakusanda, which is Vesabu Buddha, was 31 eons ago. That means the previous eon there's no Buddha. Likewise, all the past 30 eons there's no Buddha. So the universe is just running, operating normally as it is. People are born, people die, no Buddhas. Yeah, so 31 eons ago there are 2 Buddhas, Sikhi Buddha and Vesabu Buddha. And if you look at the lifespan, so you look at, we don't look at other eons, we just look at the current eon. Kakusanda Buddha. They can live until 40,000 years old. The human average lifespan was 40,000 years old. And the Buddha after that, Konagamana Buddha, 30,000 years old. And you look at the Kassapa Buddha, the human lifespan was 20,000 years old. Then our Gautama Buddha is sort of the last Buddha of this human declining age, human declining era, that is human average lifespan of 100 years old. So if you look at this, then you have very contradicting concepts. Either you believe in the human theory of human evolution, or you believe in this scripture. So it's a bit hard to find a compromise. So either that, or if you are truly critical minded, then you can find critique in the Darwin's theory of the origin of species. how can a unicellular organism evolve to a complex creature, like an ape or monkey or human or a whale or a dinosaur or whatever it is, right? So it is quite, I would say, impossible for natural evolution. Yeah, so I won't add further. So our sutta has their point of view of how heavenly beings descend and turn into physical form, yeah, so becomes humans eventually. So that's the Buddhist point of view. So I won't discuss the scientific points. Then they mentioned the assemblies, that means the audiences and the number of disciples or Arahant disciples. So our current Buddha, the maximum knows the biggest attendance would be like 1,000 over enlightened beings, 1,000 over enlightened monks. So the previous eras of Buddhas, you have tens of thousands, yeah, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands if you look earlier. So that is, if your lifespan is super long, then you have more time to preach, you gain more followers, so you have naturally more numbers. Yeah, so that's the idea. Okay, so this is just a rough concept to let you know how long ago is this story. I won't drag too much, so let's carry on. Okay, so they talk about this Pusa Buddha 92 years ago. So the three younger brothers of Pusa Buddha, born of a different mother. So they have the same father, different mother. Yeah, the Buddhas indeed are born for the benefit of the whole world, not for the sake of just one person. So now our Father gives no opportunity to others. How can we serve the Lord Pusa Buddha and his Sangha? Come along, let us perform some strategy. So the three princes, that means the three other sons of the king, thought of how to also practice dana, and how to serve the Buddha without having the father hogging everything to himself. So what they did, they caused a disturbance, as it were, on the borderland. So it can be a riot or protest or whatever it is. Then the king, when he heard about this disturbance, sent for these three sons to pacify the border. They did so, and upon their return, the king, in his pleasure, granted them a boon, saying, "Take whatever you wish." So gave them a reward. No? So the reward is, take whatever you wish. So it's a very open, very general kind of reward. So the three sons decided to take this opportunity. Okay, next slide. So the three sons said, "We wish to serve Lord Pusa Buddha." The king, denying this, said, "Take something else." So the father don't really love their son. Don't give them opportunity to serve the Buddha. Okay, so they replied, "We do not care for anything else. Please let us serve him at least for 7 years." So the king said no. Then they asked for 6 years, and they bargained, right? 5, 4, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Still the king said no. Then they asked for 7 months, then 3 months, 5, and then 4. Then eventually the king agreed for 3 months. Well, you can take your choice. So 3 months is just nice, one rains retreat. Yeah, so they decided to, okay, just serve for 3 months. Okay, next. So they approached the Lord Pusa Buddha and said, "Reverend Sir, we wish to serve the Lord for 3 months. Let the Lord consent to spend with us for 3 months the retreat of the rainy season, the Vasa." So the Buddha agreed, and Pusa Buddha. So the three sons personally sent a written message to the man appointed over the province. Okay, so this story, you just take note of the different characters. So there's the three sons, then there's this man appointed over the province, because these characters will be reborn in the current era with different characters. So you take note first. So that's why we have this very long-winded story by just a backdrop. So there's this man appointed over the province, probably like a governor, saying during these 3 months we must serve the Blessed One, beginning with a monastery, provide all needs. Yeah, then they serve with due honor the Lord Buddha. So when they mean beginning with a monastery, I would take it as they built a monastery. Yeah? So the governor probably built a monastery with all the requisites to serve these Buddhas. So the 3 princes came and helped to serve the Buddha and the order of the monks, Sangha. When they, as rulers of the province, had dedicated the monastery, observed the retreat of the rainy season. Right, so this is the 3 months, yeah, what they did. Okay, next. And also one more character, or 2 more characters. So there's a royal treasurer, son of a householder, a follower. So the royal treasurer is probably like a civil servant. So he's a son of householder. He's not probably not of a royalty, right? A follower. Together with his wife, found faith. Right? So these 2 characters, this royal treasurer and the wife, they have faith while observing the 3 princes, 3 prince. I don't know how to pronounce princess, plural. May sound like princess, sound like female, but never mind. Okay. He duly gave a donation to the order of the monks, whose head was the Pusa Buddha. The man was set over the province, followed this example, and with 11,000 people gave gifts with all due honor. So again, there's this 11,000 people, which is very important because in the next lifetimes to come, they'll be present in the current Buddha story. Okay, so on the occasion, some people were offended in heart. Having hindered contributions, they themselves ate the gifts and burned down the dining hall with fire. So sometimes, I would say, inter-religious sensitivities can be very sensitive because when you talk about royal treasurer, giving donation to the Sangha, these probably are taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money, or even the salaries of the royal treasurer, right? Where it comes from? Comes from taxpayers' money. So if you just offer a lot to a particular religion, sometimes people can be very unhappy, right? So these people offended, right? They sort of burn down the gifts and the dining hall with fire. Yeah, so sometimes the rulers or the authorities need to be very tactful. Yeah, either they treat everyone equally, or they probably need to make give a good reason, make an announcement before they do such services, special services. Okay, next. So after the king's son with their attendants had honored the Buddha and gave him farewell, they went directly to the father. Upon their return, the Lord Buddha attained parinibbana. So this Pusa Buddha passed away, attained this final liberation. So he passed away. So the king's son and the royal treasurer and those who served the Pusa Buddha in due course of time died. Right, when their lifespan was over, they died and they were reborn in heaven. So that means in that current era, they passed away and born in heaven first. But those who created trouble, they do the unwholesome thing of burning down the hall and the gifts, right? They were born in the lower realms and born in hell. So this is the sort of the karmic consequences of doing anything unwholesome. Okay, next. So over a course of time, so 91 kalpas passed by. So these two states of persons were reborn respectively from heaven to heaven, from hell to hell. So it's like snakes and ladder. No, not really snakes and ladder. The ones in heaven still in heaven, the ones in hell still in hell. Then at one auspicious cycle, at the time of the Lord Kassapa, that means that is the Buddha right before our Gautama Buddha. Yeah? So the Buddha who offended were reborn among the Petas. So the beings who were reborn in hell, they somehow upgraded. So they escaped from hell and born as hungry ghosts, these Petas. At that time, people themselves would give a gift for the benefit of their Peta ancestors and say, let this be for our relatives. Right? Then those Petas receive happiness. So these humans that gave a gift, practice dana, and dedicate merits to their deceased relatives, to other hungry ghosts, and not for this group of hungry ghosts that burned down the dining hall. Right? So those other hungry ghosts receive the benefit. So the dedication of merit, very simple. Let this be for our relatives. And don't have to do a very long, complicated chant. Very simple line. Let this be for our deceased relatives. That will do. Right? And the Petas received happiness. Okay, so next slide. Then these Petas too notice this, and having approached Kassapa, so these Petas referred to the ghosts that in the previous lifetime burned down the dining hall. Okay, so they approached the Kassapa Buddha, which is the Buddha right before our Gautama Buddha, asked him, how now, revered sir, can we too attain such a bliss? Then the Kassapa Buddha replied, at this time you cannot attain it. In his current era, they cannot receive such happiness because no relatives yet. No relatives being born as human. So, but in time to come, there will be a universal Buddha named Gautama Buddha, which is our present Buddha. In the time of that Lord Buddha, there will be a king named Bimbisara, who will be a kinsman unto you after a cycle is over. He will give a gift to the Buddha and ascribe its credit to you. Then you will attain the happiness. Now when this was spoken, the Petas thought as if it was said, tomorrow you shall receive it. So because they are born in this hell and this hungry ghosts for so long, they wait for so long. So it is as though the next Buddha is like tomorrow, like that, for so long. So they are waiting. So they are so happy to, they are so eager to wait for their suffering to be over. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so now we come to the present era. Then after this Buddha interval has passed, so the present Gautama Buddha was born in the world. So the three princes, two with 1,000 men, passed down from the world of the Devas and were reborn in the kingdom of Magadha, in the Brahman family, so as the priestly class. In course of time, having given up worldly life, the three became ascetics. With a matted hair, stayed in Gayasisa. So they were the matted hair ascetics. The man set over the province became King Bimbisara. So the governor of the province became King Bimbisara. So in a way they are sort of related, just that he did the good deed, whereas the Petas previously burned down the building. So King Bimbisara was the one that built the monastery, the dining hall, whereas the Petas were the one that previously burned down the dining hall. Okay, so the royal treasurer and the son, the householder, became a rich man called Visakha. So Visakha is also another popular householder, keep on donating items to the Buddha and the Sangha. Then his wife in the previous lifetime became daughter of a rich man who was known as Dhammadina. So became a different character. Then the rest of the people became attendants of the king. So the thousands of other servants became attendants of the king. So the same servants of the governor. Yeah? So King Bimbisara more or less have the same kind of attendants and the servants from before. Okay, next. Okay, so the king invited the Buddha and his many followers the next day to do a donation as a meal. Right, so the Buddha and the followers were led to the king's place by Saka, Indra. So, so heavenly beings were involved also. So Saka is the king of the 31 gods of the 31 realm. Sorry, the council of 33 kings. Yeah, so the Tavatimsa Deva. So he's the sort of the leader of the 33 kings. So the Lord of the heavens, yeah, who assumed the form of a human and sang praises of Lord Buddha. So he also came down and joined. So the Petas, yeah, which is the ghosts which burned down the dining hall from before, surrounded the house thinking, now the king will give donation for our credit. As the king gave donation, he thought only, where now I wonder may the Lord Buddha be staying? Accordingly, he did not give credit to donation to anyone. So he forgotten to give this dedication of merits to the deceased relatives. Thus, since the Petas who had not received a donation were without hope, they uttered during the night dreadful outcry at the king's residence. So these kind of sum up the entire story. So due to time constraint, I think we end for tonight and open the floor to Q&A. So basically, the outside the walls mean these ghosts were banging the gates, castle gates. Why you never dedicate marriage to us? No? We were promised by the previous Buddha that you will do this. you never dedicate marriage to us. So they were banging. Okay, so this is the first part of the story. So next week we'll continue. So basically, the next part will be a happy ending. So the king will dedicate marriage and solve the problem. Okay, so more or less have the idea of the whole story. So next week I'll just go into detail. Anyone has any questions?
Auntie, just now, Kondyana was mentioned in the chart, right?
Yeah.
He also gained enlightenment, right? He became the Buddha also, right?
Yeah, right.
I see. So you said there was a total of 28 Buddhas. Is it they have the chanting for 28 Buddhas? They are all the names of the Buddha. I realized that it was found in that chant.
Oh, is it? Yeah, in the 28 Buddha chant, yeah.
Is it the one? Because I saw it in the Sri Lankan chanting book. They
Yeah,
have
it's inside.
So they are all actually these 28 Buddhas.
Yeah, that's right.
I see. So when on what occasions then we chant these 28 Buddhas?
What occasion? Depends on where you are. Like in Santi Monastery, they like chant like every morning.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, in the morning chanting they have it.
What is the significance of this chant, Bante, with all the 28 Buddhas?
Probably depends on your intention. Probably to arouse faith. Yeah,
Oh,
to
I see.
gain faith and that is so-called faith in the Buddhas, past Buddhas.
I see. Is also alike or is actually chanting for the faith in Buddha, just merely for that, not for the protection, not like the 8 direction chant that you have the Purapasani, right?
Yeah, the protection is more of creating this wholesome state of mind, and so that is the protection. Because if you mentally cling on to wholesome or nice emotion, wholesome states of mind, then that itself is a kind of protection. Because protection from what? Protection from depressive states of mind. If let's say unwholesome states of mind, it is also addictive. So rather get addicted to good emotion, to pleasant, wholesome emotion rather than unwholesome state of mind. So that is the protection.
Oh, okay. That you're talking about the the 8 direction chant, which
So all the Parita chanting are protective verses.
the protective verses.
Yep.
Yeah, because I learned that one in the Dhamma class that we chant for all the protection from all the 8 directions.
Yeah, it's that chant is more like radiating in the refuges. Like when we do loving kindness, we radiate in all directions. So this one is changing loving kindness to faith. Having faith and the refuge of the triple gems, then you use that state of mind to radiate in different directions.
To radiate metta to all directions.
Radiate the refuge in the triple gem. So that is only uniquely to the Thai tradition. It's that chant is invented by the Thai tradition.
Oh, I see.
So some of the words are not really Pali. It's more like Thai language. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, lucky I never asked Brother Ling Huat to teach us on this one. Because I remember you told me that this one is only chanted in the Thai temple.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I see. But I try to do it at night now. After the all the the 5 preset. Yeah. At the end of it, I will do a short prayer that for the Buddha to grant protection to my grandson. Because like I told you, right, in the wee hours he kept on screaming. I mean, he must have been shocked or whatever. Yeah, that's my way of loving him. Yeah, but I don't cling lah.
Yeah. Yeah, because for a child, as or toddler, they probably won't understand the language. They just feel by sensing the emotion, sensing the vibes.
I do the chanting in my own house, not his house.
Okay,
yeah, but I'm sure that he will be able to receive the blessings too.
Yeah, so the whole idea is, if you're near him, then you can do mentally recitation or meditation. You wish him well and happy, wish all beings well and happy.
Okay, thank you, Bante.
Okay.
Bante, can I suggest, because I like your slide number 8 and 9, so maybe we can form a WhatsApp group where we can request things, your teachings, so that we can review it more carefully.
Can. So Terence has the PowerPoint also, yeah? So you can request from him.
8 and 9. And then another thing is, what I understand, the next future Buddha will be Maitreya. So we are told that it's number 5 or number 6, our Gautama Buddha. So how do we view these 28 Buddhas?
Yeah, so the next Buddha would be the 5th Buddha of this current eon. So like our Gautama Buddha is the 4th Buddha of this current eon, yeah.
Okay, so then, but we have also heard about the 28.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So how do we reconcile these figures?
Yeah, so like earlier on in the chart or the table, the 4 Buddhas in our eon is for this universe. The Buddhas before that, the next slide. Yeah, so the the blue color chart. Yeah, so if you look at number 4 to number 7, so that's the 4 Buddhas of the current eon.
Mm-hmm.
That means
Because
in
one,
this universe. Yeah, so
it
the
can
previous
only have one
Buddhas,
Buddha, right? We can only have one Buddha during Buddha dispensation, right?
yeah, correct. Yeah,
So that means 4, 5, 6, and 7 is
yeah.
considered Gautama's dispensation.
No. It's
No,
Gautama dispensation is only at number 7.
number 7.
Yeah.
But
One Buddha cycle means when the teaching is lost. When the
there's a
teaching is
dark age.
lost,
Huh?
yeah, then the
Okay,
first person who rediscover, then they call themselves Buddha.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so the Buddha cycle different from the universe cycle, very different. Yeah, so the previous Buddhas like Vesabhu Buddha, Sikhi Buddha, Vipassi Buddha, and before, they are from the past universes, so they are not from this universe.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So like you look at the numbers, 31 universe ago, 31 eons ago. So this is a long time.
Bante, do all these 28 Buddhas actually, I mean, Gautama Buddha, I know. The other 27 Buddhas, are they actually found in temples?
They may be depicted in some temples.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
may be depicted. Yeah.
So it's also like we pay respect to them only, we don't worship them, right?
Yeah, the Buddha mind is the same, right? Enlightened mind, free from greed, hatred, delusion. So that's what we are paying respect to. Yeah.
Then why do you have the Kandana, the family, for the Buddha? You mean this Vipassi Buddha, they belong to the family of Kandanya?
Okay. Okay, very let me see. Yeah, different family lines.
Oh, okay. So in other words, the Vipassi Buddha comes from the family of Kandanya.
Yeah, it's a common name. It's not the Kondanya from
Okay,
our sutta.
okay.
Not the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta that Kondanya is a different
Okay.
person.
It's
Yeah.
different from the one.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Bante.
there are
This
many
you
common names.
highlight
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking it's that one, no?
Just like Kassapa, the Kassapa Buddha is not the same as the Maha Kassapa.
Oh, it's also different.
Different, yeah. Because if this Kassapa is in the number 6 is already a Buddha, that means passed away, won't get reborn. Yeah. Yeah. So the Maha Kassapa that our Gautama Buddha met is Arahant, is different. Yeah. So it's not the same as the past Buddha.
And then the Kassapa brothers.
Kassapa brothers, where?
I think we heard about this in the Dhamma class.
Oh, probably different. Yeah.
It's different also. I see. The
whoever appear in the current Buddha's era, that means our Gautama Buddha's time, is not the same as all the previous Buddhas.
Oh, I see. So all those Buddhas that were before Gautama's time, Gautama Buddha, they're all the past Buddhas.
Yeah,
they are not
Buddha.
the same as the time of the Gautama Buddha.
Yeah, because they passed away, then they won't get reborn anymore.
Oh, okay. But then if they pass away, they don't get reborn, right? Then where would they go?
Okay, so this is the interesting question which the Buddha won't answer. Okay, this is got to do with understanding of parinibbana, yeah, understanding of self. So the important question is how to overcome suffering. So if to say totally don't exist, not correct. They exist eternally, also not the correct answer. Yeah, so the Buddha's answer is to strive to overcome greed and hatred. Yeah. So once you solve this, you overcome the suffering, And whatever you come to conclusion in your mind, then that's a different matter. Yeah.
Thank you, Bante.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn.
Okay.
Yeah, if you didn't show this chart today, I wouldn't think that it's different from the Dhamma Chakka Sutta inside that Kanda.
Yeah, different.
I see. This one is just the surname of the family, right? The family name of the Buddha.
Yeah, correct.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bante.
Okay, all right. Any other questions?
Bante, this sutta alone, wow, there's also a lot of explanation to do.
Yeah.
I thought that you will sum up in one lesson.
Yeah, I tried to split into 2 lessons because next week is the last lesson. Yeah.
Okay. So that means when you come back, there will be no more sutta studies for this year already. It means that
yeah, next week will be the last available time slot for Terence. Then he'll be busy. He need to organize other retreats.
He'll be off for his retreat. I think if there's no Singaporean going, probably I won't be able to go. Thank you, Bante.
Okay, no problem. Okay, if there's no questions, then we take a break, 5-minute break, then we come back, and hopefully we can generate enough merits from the meditation that we can dedicate. Huh? Okay, so see you all later. So the magnification of this merit depends a lot on the intention. Huh? So the physical act of giving is one thing, but the state of mind, it's the push factor. So now we are cultivating this wholesome state of mind. So in future, whatever activity you're doing, then every moment is creating good karma. Okay, so we start off with wishing all the sensations in the body well and happy. So we make peace with all the sensations. So the sensations can be classified into the 4 elements: earth, fire, wind, water elements. So earth represents any hard and soft sensations, fire is hot and cold, wind is any kind of movement, fast or slow movements, and water is moist or dry. So what we are doing is we are not deliberately creating those sensations. We treat it as a real-time observation. Anytime any sensation appears, let it appear naturally by itself. And whatever we detect, we just wish them well and happy. So we learn to make peace with all the sense contact. So the whole idea is repetition. Every time new sensation appears, wish it well and happy. New sensation appears, wish it well and happy. Because our mind has the habit of clinging for so many eons. So it's a habit. Once the mind, we don't generate the right thought, right effort, then it will naturally cling to these sensations, other kind of sensation. So we don't need to wait for many eons. So every moment we detect something, and we create the escape route here and now. Every moment we are taking action. Appreciate it, well and happy. So this the evolution of the mind. It's always intentional. You cannot let it natural. Once you let it natural, the mind will drift away. There's always intervention. So the more you generate loving kindness, then the mind should be able to calm down. That's an indicator you're on the right track. Okay, so once the mind is peaceful, or you find relatively calm, then we can wish all beings in all directions well and happy, above, below, and all across. So no need to visualize how all sentient beings look like, especially all the unseen beings. We have no idea how they look like. And we just wish all beings well and happy. No need to push your mind or your attention. We let it extend naturally by itself. And it will naturally encompass all beings along the way. And we perceive all beings in terms of the elements and the 5 aggregates. So the form aggregate is actually the 4 elements. So every time we detect any sensation, any of the elements, we wish all beings well and happy. So new sensation appear, all beings well and happy. New sensation appear, all beings well and happy. So it doesn't matter near or far, large or small area. Keep wishing all beings well and happy. So the repetition of wishing all beings well and happy may lead one to enter the first level of concentration, denoted by increment of joy, happiness, and peace. So regardless of what you experience, continue to wish all beings well and happy. So next we add some insight, some wisdom, and we're going to reflect on impermanence. So all sensations, all beings arise and pass away every moment. All beings change every moment, including ourselves. So we keep observing all these sensations appearing, how they arise, how they pass away, arise and pass away. Okay, so the combination of this loving kindness and impermanence may lead one to the fourth level of concentration. So if let's say your joy and happiness doesn't disappear, then you're left with this emotion of equanimity. And regardless of what you experience, continue to be mindful of impermanence. Okay, so next we move on to compassion. So for compassion, we wish all beings may they be free from suffering. So basically everyone has the potential to experience suffering every moment. We don't have to wait until like the next lifetime or what to know whether when the ghost realm or whatever realm, every moment when we cling, then there is suffering. All beings will experience suffering every moment if they cling. So whenever we detect any sensation, we wish all beings may they be free from suffering. Okay, so the more we generate compassion every moment, we are trying not to get into suffering ourselves. So we keep on wishing all beings may they be free from suffering. So if our mind starts to calm down, and if we do it correctly, then one should experience some form of joy. So that would indicate a concentrative kind of compassion. If let's say you are starting to dramatize how you help people and start to daydream, then that is not the middle way compassion. So we come back to the sensations, the four elements, and we keep on wishing all beings free from suffering. Okay, then we add some insight, some wisdom, and we're going to reflect how to truly overcome this suffering and practice detachment. Every moment we reflect on impermanence, all sensations, they arise and pass away. a combination of this compassion and impermanence over time may cause the joy to disappear. And whatever left, it may lead to this state of mind called the perception of space. So it's a kind of spacey feeling. So the whole idea is to keep holding on to impermanence, don't drift away. Okay, so due to time constraint, same gentle reminder, whatever activity we engage in, standing, sitting, walking, lying down, we can always be mindful of the sublime states or mindful of impermanence. And so with that, we can gently open our eyes, formally end the meditation, but informally, we still can generate right thought. Okay, any problems or questions? Okay, if there's no issues, then we can dedicate merits. Okay, so Anmodana, dedicating merits. Akasata Japumata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Tang Anumoditva Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasanang Etavata Cha Amhehi Sampadang Punya Sampadang Sabe Deva Sabe Puta Sabe Sata Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhiya. Dedication of merits to departed. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Aspiration. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu. Yavani bana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, any announcements from Terence? Okay, so next week will be the last lesson. So see you all next week and good night.
Night.
Good night. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.